You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney theme parks podcast, and this is show number 221 for Sunday, the 5th of August, 2018.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Dream Girls. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my good friend Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Let's start this show off with On This Week in Disney History.
A merry hello to the people who are listening to this podcast. And this is me, Kieran. And what is this now? This Week in Disney History. Now, on the 6th of August 1928, Universal Pictures released the first Oswald the Lucky Rabbit film, Pa Papa, to theatres. In 1999, Disney also released the Hollywood feature film The Sixth Sense to theatres in the USA. If you haven't seen this, I suggest you do. It's a good film. Although, most of the rest of the films the director made are just kind of awful. Next is the release of the Disney's fifth animated feature, Bambi, and it had its world premiere in London on the 8th of August in 1942. The film was based on the book by Arthur Felix Satan and retells the story of Bambi a deer, his parents and his friends. The film received 3 Academy Award nominations. Moving to the 9th of August in 1899, and Helen Linda Gough was born in Queensland, Australia. Name not familiar? How about if I mention Pamela Lyndon Travers? Yes, that's right, she is the author of the Mary Poppins books. She passed away on the 23rd of April in 1996 and is buried in the St. Mary the Virgin Church in Twickenham, London. Also on this date in 1934, Walt Disney first outlined to his animators his idea for the studio's first animated film, Snow White. Another entry for the 9th is in 2004. Donald Duck received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Moving on to the 10th of August 2012, and the Lion King section of rooms at Disney's Art of Animation Resort opened. These rooms enabled families of up to 6 to share accommodation, but at a Value Plus resort. That's it for this episode. Goodbye.
Michelle here, and I have got a fantastic trip review with a very special additional guest as well, and we're going to talk all about this family's trip to Walt Disney World and the ability to go and visit Toy Story Land. But without further ado, let me introduce our 2 special guests. Firstly, I'd like to say hello to Tiffany Moss. Welcome back to the Disney Dream Girls.
Thank you for having me again. It's an honor to be with you.
I love our chats, but I guess today we've also got a very special visitor, a new visitor to the podcast. Would he like to come and say hello too?
Yes, please.
Hello there, I gather you're Daniel. Hello, Daniel.
Hello, this is my first time being on the show.
First of many, Daniel. We're going to talk Toy Story in a moment, but let me just pass back over to Mum, and we are going to go through a few details about how you guys got to go to Walt Disney World at this time of year. So, Tiffany, over to you.
Thank you, Michelle. So normally we plan our trips in fall and spring, but the opportunity presented itself through my husband's company. They sent him down there for a work-related conference. And my children and I have annual passes, so we found out about the second week in May that we had the opportunity to go. So we went ahead, we booked it, and we knew that it was going to be right around the time of Toy Story Land opening. So Toy Story Land was open for about 2 weeks when we went, so it was perfect timing. We couldn't wait to try it out.
Fantastic stuff. That is such a bonus to get a sneaky little trip in as well.
Yes, it was. It was a great opportunity. So when we have an opportunity like that, we try to take as many as we can.
Absolutely. So did you stay on Disney property? Were you off-site?
This time we got to try one of the Disney Good Neighbor hotels It was the Hilton Lake Buena Vista Palace near Disney Springs.
Ooh, nice.
It was. It was. They had fantastic pools, the lazy river. So they had a lot of wonderful amenities.
And with it being in the Disney Springs area, is that one of the hotels that is like not connected to Disney, but Disney offers some of the same benefits as a Disney hotel, like the earlier fast passes and such?
Yes, it is. So it's a Good Neighbor hotel. So they offer the fast passes at 60 days, which is lovely. And then they also offer magic hours.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So we were able to get the magic hours and the fast passes, which was perfect. And that really worked out well. Also, they do have a shuttle service, but I will go ahead and say that the one drawback to it was the shuttle service didn't run the full time of the magic hours. So if you wanted to take advantage of magic hours, you needed to take some other transportation that was available.
Ah, okay, so that's a possible drawback. But I suppose the Disney transport would get you to Disney Springs, and then you only have to get from Disney Springs to the Hilton.
Yes, and they have a covered walkway from Disney Springs to the Hilton, so you can just walk, and that's really not a problem. That was what we did.
That sounds a really tempting idea because, sometimes you just don't want to have the in-your-face Disney theming, and you can pick up some pretty good bargains on these Disney Spring Good Neighbor hotels as well.
Yes, you can, and that's another one of their advantages. It's a lovely hotel. It was a great resort, but it didn't have as much of the Disney theming and everything like that.
Okay, so how many days were you down in Walt Disney World for?
We came in on Monday, July 9th, and we left on July 13th.
Oh, lovely. Nice little short break.
It was lovely. We drove down on Monday. It is about an 8-hour drive from where we are. Mm-hmm. So we're in the southern United States. So not too bad. So Monday we drove, and then we went to the pool and the lazy river and just enjoyed the on-site amenities. They have a game room and arcade.
Oh, fantastic. So what was the first park you decided to go and visit?
Well, our first park was Hollywood Studios because they were having magic hours that morning for Toy Story. So we went straight there.
So are you a kind of a rope drop family where you have to be, if it's opening at 7, you're there at 6:30?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
Absolutely. That's the way to do it. So did you and the family have a strategy? Had you booked any fast passes? Had you sort of had some conversations about food or first attractions?
So we did. My husband wasn't with us, so it was just myself, my 12-year-old daughter, and my 8-year-old son, Daniel, whom you'll get to speak to a little bit later. Our strategy was to rope drop Toy Story Land. So we got there at 6:30, went through security. That was no problem. Mm-hmm. Went straight to Jedi training to sign the kids up. So we went and signed them up and then went right on over to Toy Story Land. So our plan was to go ahead and get in line for Slinky Dog Dash because we had a later fast pass for the alien saucers. However, when we walked by Toy Story Midway Mania and the wait time was only 5 minutes, that was very tempting, and it tempted us. So we went in there, and we ended up doing that one first because we just walked through the line.
Wow.
Which was really nice.
Fantastic. And it's got all the new entrance and everything, hasn't it?
It does. And so they actually have 2 going at the same time now, which is really, really nice. The lines are fabulous. They're still decorated with the toys. And then they also have a few surprises hidden throughout the queue for you, which I won't spoil. But they're really neat. You look and you're like, oh, that wasn't there before. I haven't seen that. So it was really nice.
Fab. So after you had a good old time in Toy Story Mania, where did you hit next?
So after Toy Story Mania, we did go over to Slinky Dog Dash, which was great. They said that the wait time posted was 60 minutes, but it actually only took 40 minutes. Cool. So we met lovely people in line, a man and his son from South America that we got to speak with while we were there. And so the line really went very quickly.
Do you know, I love that. I love it when you get to meet people from different countries and different cultures and you can just chat because you've all got this common bond of Disney. And there's so many people just glued to their sort of like cell phones in the line and just interact with people, put away the phones.
Yes, and you can learn so much about people and their cultures, like you were saying, and their experiences. Different people have different experiences, different families do the Disney parks different ways. So it's a wonderful chance to really learn more about each other.
Absolutely. So what did you make of Slinky Dog then?
So honestly, I am not a roller coaster person. So even though it's not a big one, I stood in line, I put my kids on it, and my kids rode it, and they loved it, but I will let Daniel tell you about that.
Okay. So where did you go after trying Slinky Dog?
So right after Slinky Dog, we had a fast pass for one of their favorite rides, Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh,
so we left Toy Story Land. I know. We left Toy Story Land, walked all the way over to Rock and Roller Coaster, went through the queue, and this is one of the first times I've been through the queue line because I don't ride the ride. Mm-hmm. But it is amazing. Like, even if you don't want to ride the ride, you should go through the queue line because it's just so entertaining.
Absolutely. And the little bit with the technology as you're going into the building and sometimes it flashes up your name on the posters.
It's cute. It's very cute. Very well done.
So you've got some pretty hardcore kids then, if they're willing to go on Rock and Roller Coaster.
I do. They take after their dad. So, yes. He's not there. I will stand in line with them and get the fast passes with them to make sure they get to ride. So.
It's like Jane. Jane will not go on Rock and Roller Coaster. I remember sitting out with her in Florida one year because her family had gone on and she didn't want to go and ride. And, you know, it is what it is. Some people love roller coasters, some people don't. But there's always something else that you can be doing to fill the time.
Oh, definitely. That was not a problem at all. There's so many little stands, the pin trading and everything right there. Also, they have refreshment stands and then talking to the different people.
Okay, so after your rock and roller experience, did you go back into Toy Story Land to do anything else, or was it just going around Disney's Hollywood Studios?
No, we did Star Tours next, which was my favorite. Star Tours was my favorite ride there. Absolutely love it. And then we went back to Toy Story Land so that we could have lunch at Woody's Lunchbox.
Ooh, so tell me everything. Did you order in advance or did you just wait and queue? What did you have? What did you think? Oh, I have so many questions.
I know, and it was so well done. It's precious. So you walk up and there are tables with umbrellas and chairs out there. Although I will warn you and the listeners, there's not a lot of shade. So if these tables with the umbrellas are taken, there's not a lot of shade in that area in general. It's really cute though. So got in the queue, did not order ahead, but they do have mobile ordering available there, so you can do that. But the kids and I kind of went back and forth on that. We just weren't sure what we wanted. So in the line, they give out menus at the beginning of the line so that by the time you get up to the front, you know. So the kids went to get a table, and I ordered. My daughter and I had the Monte Cristo without the raspberry jam, though. She and I don't like the raspberry jam. So that took a little extra time. And then Daniel had the turkey sandwich with the potato barrels and the orange children's drink.
So what did you think of the quality of the food?
Absolutely loved it. The sandwiches were wonderful. And Daniel really loved the potato barrels. He really, really liked those. Those are like tater tots.
Okay, yeah, I gather Disney don't allow us to call them tater tots, but
yeah.
Everybody will because that's what they are, really, isn't it?
It is, and I find that when you're describing things, sometimes people are like, a potato barrel. That sounds really weird. And it's like, no, it's not weird. It's really good. It's very, very good. So the food was excellent.
The Monte Cristo is interesting because I gather it's been taken off the menu at the moment. Maybe it's going to come back, but what did you think to it? Was it quite sweet?
It had a little bit of sweet, but again, we didn't have the raspberry on there. So if we'd had the raspberry, it would have been a lot sweeter probably. Ours was just the meats and the cheese. And then it's cooked, of course. And so it was wonderful. The flavors really complemented each other. They melded well together.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a nice combination.
Sounds absolutely yummy, and I can't wait to pop by and give Woody's lunchbox a try. So you ate your meal, and then did you manage to go on the alien swirling saucers?
We did. We had a fast pass for those next. So after lunch, we went and visited the facilities.
Mm-hmm.
And then we checked those out too. Those are very nice, super clean, just like everywhere else on Disney property. Very, very clean, nice. And we re-wetted our cooling towels out there. And then we got to watch the alien swirling saucers for about maybe 10 minutes. And then it was time for our fast pass.
Fantastic. And did you go on this one with the children?
I did. We all got to ride together on this one. So you get in your saucer and they buckle you in for safety. And then they start this fun music. And so right away you're kind of excited and the music gets you going. It's a great atmosphere. So it goes in a circle on a track, but it also at the same time flips back and forth like a dog's tail. It's hard to describe, but so it's going in the circle on the track, but it's also going back and forth. And it was a lot of fun. We all laughed. We had a great time.
Fantastic. Well, let's bring Daniel in and get his opinion on both the roller coaster, the food, what he thought to the potato barrels he had, and also what he thought of the alien saucer spin.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello there, young man. I want to know all about Slinky Dog Dash. What did you think to it?
I thought it was great. I thought it was fast. If you definitely like roller coasters, like Rock and Roller Coaster, it's in between. It's not a small ride. It's not a really big ride. It's a medium ride.
Okay, I'm going to give you a challenge now then. Seems you're a bit of a roller coaster fan. Which would you say is the most intense? Seven Dwarfs Mine Train or Slinky Dog Dash?
Which is more intense?
Which one's the scariest?
Oh.
It's like asking a mother to choose her favourite child, isn't it, really?
Yes, kind of. I'd probably say Slinky Dog Dash.
Fantastic. Oh, I'm really excited then. So, how many times this trip did you manage to get onto the roller coaster version?
Just once, yeah. Line was pretty long, but we made it.
Yay! And what did you think to the alien swirling saucers?
I thought it was great. I heard Mom how she described it. I don't think she described it the best, but she definitely did describe it good.
How would you describe it, Daniel?
So you get into your cart, and first, of course, you buckle up.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine 3 circles,
Okay.
kind of close to each other. Imagine those circles have like little holes where the bottom could, and those circles are spinning, and your car is in the circle spinning, and they're so close to each other that they can change, and that's how they're attached to springs, so they move back and forth. It's really fun.
It sounds fun. It reminds me a little bit of one of the attractions over in Cars Land in Disneyland. That's very similar. So I'm really excited because Mater's Junkyard Jamboree is one of my favourites. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed on this. So I gather you ate lunch there and you had the potato barrels meal. What did you think to that?
Well, I thought they were delicious, definitely.
Oh, so good. And what do you think to the whole feeling of Toy Story Land? Did it make you feel that you were in Andy's house and backyard? Is it really well themed?
Yes, and when you go to Woody's lunchbox, the chairs are themed like they're holding it together by pencils, and they're like food and snacks and stuff. Some of them, everything in Storyland is definitely themed very well.
What's your favourite part then of Toy Story Land?
Favorite part of Toy Story Land? That's pretty hard. Probably Slinky Dog Dash or Alien Saucers. Those were really good.
Okay, that is brilliant information, Daniel. So one more last question for you. Out of your little trip to Walt Disney World that you've just had, what other highlights did you have that you really, really enjoyed?
That's a very hard question.
Can you think of anything that you really enjoyed the most? Was it going to see fireworks at Magic Kingdom, or was it a particular attraction, or something that your mum and your sister got to do?
Probably either riding roller coasters with my sister or doing Jedi training for the first time.
No, you got chosen to do that. Fantastic.
Yes, it was very awesome.
Oh, I am so envious. When my son went, he was a little bit too old to go and do the Jedi training, so he never got to do it, so you're very lucky.
Yeah. My sister was almost a little bit too old. She was 11 at the time. My mom said 12, but she was 11 a few weeks before her birthday.
Ah, fabulous stuff. I'm so pleased you got to do that and make some fantastic memories by the sounds of it on your trip. Okay, I might come back to you with some more questions, Daniel, but can I come back and speak to Mum for a few more minutes?
That's totally fine.
Thank you.
Hi.
Oh, he's just amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. He loves your show. We listen to you and Jane in the car.
Oh.
And so the kids know y'all and they know your voices and they love to listen as well.
I can see him in a couple of years' time setting up his own podcast. He's got a really good way of describing things.
He does. He's very good so that you can see them visually.
Absolutely. I'll come back and ask him some more questions before we finish. So, we've talked a little about Toy Story Land. What else did you do that was a highlight for you personally on this trip?
Well, I think for me on this trip, the kids were older. This is the first trip that I've had the kids, just the three of us in the parks with them being older. And so there were so many fun things that we did. And it was so nice to be able to share things with them, again, with them being older and not having to, stop and change diapers and things like that. It was lovely. One of my favorites, I think, was getting to do Peter Pan with them.
Oh.
I love Peter Pan. Since I was a child, I remember that one from my first trip.
And I suppose normally when you go with your husband, the four of you won't be able to fit in a ride vehicle together, so you're always separated. So it's nice that you've had this family little trip, just the three of you, to go on all the attractions together.
It is. It was really neat to get to see some of their reactions that, like you were saying, I don't always get to see because we split up.
Any other highlights you would like to share?
Doing magic hours at Magic Kingdom the next day. So we did the first day we were in parks was Tuesday, and we did early magic hours there for Hollywood Studios. Wednesday, we did late night magic hours for Magic Kingdom. So the kids and I, believe it or not, the park closed around 1, but by the time you walk out and everything, it was more around 1:15, 1:30. So we got back at the hotel around 3 in the morning.
Oh my.
And that was...
And this was this extra magic hours?
It was.
Oh, isn't it wonderful when the parks open so late?
It is. And it's so easy to get on things. They can ride what they want to. We did miss one. I know he's tapping my shoulder. We missed Buzz because we ran to it and they had just closed down. So we just barely missed it. But we'll get that one next time.
It's going to be around. It's one of those attractions that they're never going to get rid of because it's such a classic and everybody loves it.
And it's so fun. And everybody can participate in it. So I think it's a fun family attraction.
Absolutely is. Oh, it sounds like you've had an absolutely fabulous trip. Do you have any booked ahead in the future?
We do. We will be back with my mom in September. And we're staying in the Caribbean beach in the pirate-themed room.
Oh, my word. How exciting.
I know. I have to tell you, I love the pirate beds. They are the best. We stayed there once before, and I thought, okay, the theming is amazing. The bed was amazing. So I'm really excited that we're getting the opportunity to go and do that again.
And it sounds to me that everything that you were able to accomplish on this trip was down to the fact that you had planned it out and you knew what you were going to attack, what you were going to do, you got your fast passes, etc. Am I right with that?
You are correct with that. It was planned. Of course, we had a few things that, got out of order, but that's okay. We rolled with it and it turned out even better. So the planning really does help.
I think now gone are the days where you can go to Walt Disney World and just turn up, because you won't get the magic value as if you've done the planning. And I don't know about you, but for me, when I book a trip, I start planning there, and I've got lots of little bits of enjoyment along the journey, reading menus, planning days and things like that.
Yes, thinking about rides, thinking about, it would be great to go see this show, or the kids would really like this, or this would be a fun thing to try. We haven't done that before. So whether I'm planning our trip or a trip for a client, the planning is half of the fun. I love to plan.
Well, you've just alluded to it there, that this isn't just a passion for you. It's your livelihood, it's your job. So tell people where they can get in touch with you if they would like your assistance in booking a trip.
I would love to do that. So I am Tiffany Morse, Morse, and I work with Wishes Family Travel. You can contact me either by email at tiffm as in Mickey, at wishesfamilytravel.com, or you can feel free to call me on the phone or text at 678-770-4144. I would love to hear from you. And just for the Disney Dream Girls listeners, if you call and you give the code DREAM50, I will give you a $50 gift card at your time of travel.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me. I've so enjoyed speaking with you again.
I love it. But before we go, I need to quiz Daniel a little bit more. So is he there?
He is. He is sitting right here.
Okay, Daniel. We're going to play Which is the Better Attraction? Okay, are you ready?
Uh-oh.
I'm going to give you 2 attraction names and you've to tell me which one you prefer.
Yes, ma'am.
Monsters Inc. Laugh Floor or Big Thunder Mountain Railroad?
Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
I thought I'd ease you in gently with that one. Okay, let's go something a bit trickier. Splash Mountain or Everest?
I'm in trouble. I'd probably have to say Everest.
Everest. Oh, okay. The thrill gets won over getting wet. Okay, let's stay with the wet ride then, and we'll go with Cali River Rapids or, let me see, Test Track.
Test Track, because on water rapids, it doesn't get you as wet, and Test Track really goes fast, and I really like that.
That's a pretty good answer. Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to challenge you on your Disney classics now. Haunted Mansion or Jungle Cruise?
Jungle Cruise.
Okay. Last one. Monorail or train?
I think monorail.
Monorail. Fantastic answers. Daniel, you have been an absolute delight to speak to. Thank you so much for spending some time chatting through about your Disney attractions. And I think me and you need to have a little bit more of a chat at some future date to talk through some of your favourite attractions, because it sounds to me that you know your roller coasters.
Yes, ma'am. Before you go, there's 2 more things I have to add.
Go on.
Hotel. My mom did mention that it has a pool, lazy river, and a hot tub.
Ooh.
To go in. And something I definitely thought I liked is, if you're young, your kids are probably sleepy and you want to go back to the hotel. If you have younger kids, they'll probably do better of staying up late.
That is a top tip from Daniel. Do you know what? You are fantastic. I can see you being a superstar podcaster in the future with all of these top tips, and you're only 8 years old. Wow.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thank you both for coming on the podcast. I can't wait to speak to you after your September trip to find out a little bit more about the adventures that you and the family have. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
Bye from me.
Goodbye.